Welcome everyone back to another Boldcast reaction. I'm Carson.
I'm Lindsay.
And this is Blue Lock, episode 22. Yes. Let's go. Leave a like and subscribe. Let's go.
今のリンのフリーキックは与えた時点でほとんど防ぎようがなかった。やっぱり読むべきは止めるべきはその前のプレー。リンの中央突破だったんだ。
Just rejected.
全体の運動量の低下までは読めてた。時光だけが変わらない動きをしてたことを誰より先にあいつはキャッチして時光の尽きないスタミナを引き出して、この最終局面だからこそ刺さるビッグチャンスを作り出したんだ。リンより早く時光の能力に気づけたら違う未来を引き出せたかも。くそ、あいつにあと一歩追いつきそうで追いつけない。
I actually really like that little intro where you saw you like, oh, this and that and the other thing, and then it just shows Bachira just like watching the two of them, and he's just like, I'm not even, I'm just here, you know? And that's also exhibited with how he's all like light in like that final shot, like we were talking about how he wasn't really in on the play, and like how that's how he's feeling as well, like he's not in on it and he knows it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's cool.
バローが壁ならまた別のキックでリンはゴールを狙ったはずだから。待てよ、そうか、俺が相手だからあのフリーキックを。
Because you're weak.
次ミスったら終わりだぞ。俺にボール回せよ。
シャシャンなお嬢、足ちぎれても最後は俺にパスよ。なん
でもいいよ、絶対追いつくからなあ。行くよストライカー。ああ、ラストプレーにはまだ早えよ。これです。タラちゃんかお前は。
Just calling him out.
俺の動きに連動してついてきた。こいつをかわせたサインだろ。
He just looks so pathetic all the time. Distraction. Oh no.
No, everybody's saying it, but Bachira's off his game.
Is he gonna try and sneak off to the side? Classic.
俺たちはゴール前に殺到する。この状況変化に俺だけが先を見せて動き出せる。リンの奪い合う中でリンの視界から完全に消え、一気に内へ。最短で俺は
Get it back to him.
He can get it in the air. Oh, he's like right there.
Ah, shit.
Just punch her in the face.
He's gonna go around.
Just fake looked all concerned and shit.
Look at that face.
Bamboozled.
Holy shit. That was so awesome.
That was really sick.
That was incredible.
Ha.
俺の予見したラストシーンについてきてくれるって、あいつを信じたから成立したリン専用の方程式なんだ。
ミスったらカウンター食らったじゃない。
Yeah, well, it didn't, so...
That could have happened with literally anything,
yeah,
though.
There's no surefire way that they're not gonna get it no matter what.
ラストプレーで
You got his hand on his head.
まだこうがしなきゃ意味がねえ。潔と凛に追いつくために。
You need to want it for yourself, not just to play it with them. You have to want to score the goal.
2人の世界には届かない。これ以上何を望めばいい。なんなの今のおしゃれ。
He has to want to beat them, too.
泣いても笑ってもおしゃくされた方の勝利。
What is that saying?
お前死ぬ気で持ってるもん全部出せ。ゴールを描いてやる。
Yeah, it's beef.
I still am not 100% sure who's gonna win. I think we will win, but I don't 100% know.
They could win, and yeah. He jumps so high.
Not as high as him? They're just juggling it in the air?
I'm paying attention to. Oh.
俺に何ができるのか。パスか。いや、ドリブルで切り込んで。みんなは俺に何を望んでる。教えてくれ、怪物。俺は何をすればいい。どうすればあの二人は俺を認めてくれる。ナイスヒットだ。悩みときはここは戦場だ。ジャックかけ。らしくないじゃん。わざと負けてくれるつもり。負けても自分が選ばれるとか、まだそんなことか。正直俺は今のお前なんかいらない。だったらリンが欲しい。
Oh god.
そう思って。
Is that gonna be enough to take him to the next level?
選ばれない。
Yeah, I guess he was thinking like he would get chosen no matter what this whole time.
Mm-hmm.
That was kind of the premise of this whole match.
Yeah.
Oh shit!
気にくめが野郎にはうんざりしてたところだ。好きで返せよ。ナイスパス。即日返済。
Nice.
そう来るかい。
行くぞキング。ボールを奪い合ってた俺たちだが、リンの読みと時光のクイックレスの裏をついたパスで。こいつはアンチカもワンツー突破。やばい。もうだって。ラストプレー。
Bachira's gonna do something. No. That is scary because then if he does something, that means they're gonna score on them.
This is so intense right now. That's not nice.
大人になっていくとね、みんな信じたいのに信じられなくなる。それで聞こえないふりをしてるうちには本当に聞こえなくなる。めぐるが信じようとしてるのはそのくらい儚くて大事なもの。
信じようとしてるもの。俺は何を信じようとしてる。何を信じてた。
Your monster. Yourself.
怪物。友達。
めぐる、それはね、めぐる自身の自分の声だ。
俺の自分の声。思い出せ。もう一度信じたい。自分の声を。予想外のバチラのプレスで右サイドのチギリ。
Where's Nagi? There he
Over
is.
there.
They're both on that side. I'm winning the Best Supporting Actor award.
Bachira's gonna stop him. Or not.
これで終わりだ。俺にと俺たちの勝ちだ。チャンスください。
No way.
Hit the post. Whoa!
What? How did he just went straight for the goal while all that shit was going on?
He just knew because that's what he would do. He would go for the goal.
Oh no. Oh no.
He's like in the back. He could just turn and go.
And nobody can stop him.
It's like when he was playing as a kid and everyone is just trying.
俺はお前を探してしまう。お前がいたから俺は一人じゃなかった。お前のおかげで。
I was starting to think that this is more of a metaphor. I think he literally thinks there's a monster. I think he actually sees it.
Imaginary
He's schizophrenic, I think.
だからもうこれ以上一緒にはいけない。
Well, that's stupid.
お願いだから消えてくれ。
You can't make it disappear.
もうなんかいらない。
It just makes it bigger. You can't make it disappear.
俺が疲れたらゲームオーバーしろ。ここに誰か来れば潔の裏を染みついてくる怪物を探すサッカーが一緒にサッカーをしてくれた希望だったお前をいつの間にかイメージを重く被爆に変えてしまった。お前とサッカーをすることが俺の生きがいになってブルーロックで潔と出会ったあいつが俺の本物の怪物になって強くて潔とサッカーをすることが俺の存在理由になった潔なしじゃサッカーできない人間になってた。この字幕を解かないこの先へはいけない。自分の声が聞こえない。待ちだけうるさい消えろ。もうお前にパスは出さない。俺が
Do it himself. Yeah.
みんなまた抜け。つうか初めてあんなバチは無用じゃん。
You can't be looking for a pass when you're trying to be the striker. This was his entire problem the whole time.
This is the mistake he made before. But is it gonna work now?
Again.
Oh my god.
3 in a row.
Is he actually gonna do it?
Is he gonna go through Nagi as well?
This is exactly what happened, dude. He didn't pass, and then they lost the ball and lost the game. That was the game before he came to Blue Lock. What is this? Where did this track come from?
I love it.
This is so epic, dude.
Oh my god.
俺にとってこれより楽しいことなんてこの世界には存在しない。たとえ変だとバカにされた道になっても友達なんかいなくても情熱は俺の中にある。待ってこら。
Hey!
お前じゃない。俺が怪物になる。
What?
ありがとう。今まで芝居を聞いてくれてこの先に誰もいないとしても寂しい。ここから先は一人で踊るよ。バイバイ怪物。バイバイ。今まで俺とサッカーをしてくれた潔。
It's all about him now.
マジ止まんね。
He's become an egoist. No shot! He scores right now.
それが俺を解き放つ。始まりの英語だ。 信じてたぜバチ。お前は一人でここに来るぞ。
He knew him, so he
So
planned
he
for
went
it.
there and didn't bother with all the other stuff. He cut him off at the end because he knew
Rin
that he
can't
would get all
predict
the way
it.
there.
That was the one thing Isagi needed. The one fucking factor that he could control that Rin couldn't
But just
was
that
Bachira.
he knew him, yeah.
Yes.
That's insane.
That was fucking awesome, dude.
This is the best episode of the show.
Oh my god. Numbness like a ginger.
I wonder what the rest of the lyrics are
No
that make
fucking
that have any context whatsoever.
Wait, why are they all in red? Was Nagi on Team Red?
Well, when he first met
It was
him,
Rin, Nagi, Reo, and I think Barou were all in Team Red.
yeah, well, they were all on opposite teams from him originally. Or maybe that's something that happens
I don't
later. I don't know.
それは真な番長をあまねくすべて長か長ではないかに分けられる文句の飲み方一つでもそうキャップの外し方から常にオーシャであることを心がけ
Like it was president.
アフタードリンク流しめよもしかして俺より上級オーシャ
I think he's definitely more glam than you, because I think freaking out about being glam constantly is not
油
glam.
断したら糸知りあの当社見ろ華麗なるベッドインをこう
It's rolling thunder bed into bed.
オーシャすみなさい
Oshatsumi-nasai. Holy shit.
This episode was so goddamn
It
good,
was.
and the Isagi being there at the end took it to the next level.
Yes. Okay. Before what I have to say isn't even criticism, but yeah, I agree. This was such a good episode. I loved every second of it. It was so fun. It was so awesome. It was epic as shit. I think Bachira is my favorite character. But I don't know what the fuck the monster is, bro. I have no idea what that is.
I think the monster is just...
Is it a coping mechanism for being alone and that's all it is?
Yeah, it seems to be that it's literally like like how a kid would have an imaginary friend because no one wants to play with them and do the things that they want to do, so they make up something or someone that like would play with them and would want to hang out with them and this and that. But because his whole thing was soccer and he never had anyone who could keep up with him, he was always wishing that there was someone on his level, if not better, that he could play with and have an actual game. But then when he got to that point, then everyone is surpassing him because he's always looking for that other person. His entire play style he's been building his entire play style around the fact that he doesn't have someone else to play with, but he wished that he did. So his whole thing is like, he isn't being a striker, he's looking for someone to pass to. Every time he's running with the ball, he's like, oh, I wish someone was there. I wish someone was there. He's like envisioning, if that person was there, then we could do this play. But then in this episode, he had to get rid of that. And like the monster is like a thing that he's kind of imagining, but it's also, it's working against him. It's just this idea. It's this like image of another player, essentially, that he has made up in his mind and is now dragging him down because he can't help but look for, oh, if there's a passer. And if you notice, people were being the monster because he's at the level that people that he's playing with are in the positions that he wants to pass to. But because he also has like now discovered that he wants to be a striker and be able to play by himself, because that's what he liked in the first place. He liked playing soccer by himself until it got too lonely, and then he like created this other thing. Mm-hmm. So he had to like go back to his roots and like just love playing soccer and wanting to win. So and I think that that's what's so good about it, is how like it just completely wrapped around where his mom's like, you know, you don't need other people, and like don't let them, you know, stop you from doing the things that you do and liking the things that you like. But he was just so caught up in like the idea of needing other people because it's a team sport, but because he's in this place that is promoting him to think about only himself, he was able to unlock that that like idea of just being selfish and relying on yourself and nobody else. Yeah. Because if they get picked and they're the striker on the team, it's like you're not passing to someone else. People are passing to you, and it's up to you to get it in the net. And if you can't, then get out of here.
Yeah. I really like that. I like that a lot. I like that interpretation of that a lot because it's not what I expected. As like for those who watch us a lot, I talk a lot about like sort of basic Jungian archetypes and like the shadow, like I mentioned how and the self. They're often things that are like used in anime, and it's always the same story of like you integrate it, and you know if you keep fighting against it, then it takes the control of you, and your decision making gets screwed up, and you do things that you regret. Because you're not in control of this thing that like gives you the power to do what you need to do, basically, because your shadow is like the mean, evil, little shitty part of you that like is capable of violence, but sometimes you need to do violence if you're in a fight, and some people don't have it integrated, and then it takes control of them because they're like fighting it all the time when you need to like accept that as a part of yourself and then move forward, and then you can use that to your advantage. So that's usually like the script that like every anime runs. So I'm pleasantly surprised that they didn't go with like the basic archetypal story of that, where his shadow wasn't just exactly what I thought, and it was actually something different. But it makes me, I don't know, hopeful.
And it's interesting as well because in the beginning he was like, "Oh, you have a monster too, don't you, Isagi?" And like it's like he kind of does, but in a different way. It's like all of the people here have like a selfish, like they are the monster. They don't have a monster that is separate from them. They just are embodying that for themselves. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of interesting as well. And this episode was so good. I did think that there was like he repeated himself like one too many times, like when he. But it was so good.
Isagi?
No, Bachira. Like in his like monologue, he like did it, and then there was like another thing where he kind of did it again about Isagi, but it didn't really matter because the rest of the episode was so good.
I'll be honest, I didn't catch it this time that they repeated that. So yeah,
it was different, but it was like again that same thing. But that's how like you don't really notice it when the episode is good and everything else is working in the show's favor. I just pointed this out to be like I think if this episode was worse, then we would have like really noticed it and be like, oh, this again, But it's so good. And like, again, I felt in this episode that I could tell where people were.
Yes.
I was
gonna say the same thing.
I felt like I was understanding like how far away people were from the net. We were getting enough shots that I could see like, oh, they're like 10 feet away, or oh, they're like on the other side of the field. Yeah. And I feel like that's what we have been missing this whole time. So to see it so clearly, it just makes all the difference in the world in terms of my enjoyment and my understanding of what is actually going on.
Yeah.
It felt like Bachira was actually in the end when he was dodging everyone. It felt like we were able to. It felt like we were able to see enough of the field. Like we get where is it? Like we get this a shot where it shows you can see, like we're
there's context.
Past the half line there, and then everyone's coming in and you can see where they all are, and then it cuts again and you can see the side, you can see the little line of where it is, like everything about it, and
you could see,
you can tell like
back there you could see with Rin, sorry I'm cutting you off, go on.
I was just gonna say it's just so nice because you feel like when people are when they're running or like when they're moving, even if they're not moving at all, it seems like you can tell like, okay, and like he's gone probably a few paces because the last time I saw him, he was this far back from the line, and now he's at the line. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like it just feels. I feel a lot more action. And one more thing that I was gonna say is I feel there was also more weight, like in like that there.
Yes,
right there.
Where he sprung
it's
off the ground.
It's exactly what we were talking before. Of like you can see him like getting, and then you can feel the movement. You can feel that he is like exploding in that direction, not just moving. And like with his and like here even in his face, like
the quiver in his face.
The quivering in his face, just that slight detail that's just like repeating little lines going up and down, and like the way that his teeth, like everything, like you can tell how intense he is. Like you can see it, and I think that like we were talking about last episode of like if they had that like momentum, if they had like a little bit like to just show it more visually, and they did it this time, and we're so into it because everything that they're doing exactly what we said that we wished that they were doing.
Yeah.
And it's
like,
so good.
It's like in episode 17 or 18 where like the episode ended and I was just like, all of the things, I remember saying like all of the things that we've been complaining about for the whole show were not present in this episode, and I felt the same way about this one. It's like, it's like the sometimes it doesn't even need to like go above and beyond. It's just the absence of the things that we were complaining about before, and the addition of that, you know, those feelings of momentum and the visual context for the action. Yeah, it's just like, those are like the two things. It's just like, stop fucking dragging out nonsense for no reason and actually, you know, display what is going on rather than just kind of monologue about it, and you know, really display that in the animation, not just in the posing, because the posing is from the manga, and the posture of the characters from the manga. There's an opportunity to move, and if you're not taking it, then there's no point in the show, because so much of it so much of the story is told and experienced through those movements and through the sense of place on the field. And I feel like all that was kind of in a line in this episode.
It's just so nice to actually see, and I'm sure, and I feel like people are going to be like, oh, well, there was like some of this in this other episode, but the thing is like, these last 2 episodes are where it has all been actually working together to create a cohesive show. Just having like one element in the entire 20-minute episode, like, doesn't make it good, you know what I mean? So having like the story, the characters, like everything that it's been building to this entire time, like, it feels so earned to have like this moment, you know?
Big time. Big time.
It's amazing. And I love the fact that it was Bachira's thing, but then Isagi comes in at the end.
Yes, that was
so like, that
good,
makes it
dude.
That makes it 100 times better than if Bachira had just been able to get it in, because we still get Bachira's development, and Isagi being there and cutting him off doesn't negate everything that just happened. You know what I mean? Like, even though Bachira probably isn't going to be able to get this goal because Isagi's going to stop him, that doesn't mean that Bachira didn't have that massive breakthrough that he will now be able to continue and take with him. Yeah. That's kind of the whole thing that has been happening in Blue Lock, is like, you know, even if you have this crazy breakthrough, it doesn't mean that you'll win, but like, you as a person are still winning, because like, even if you got beat or whatever. And it's kind of like, it's just so good. I love it.
Yeah, and with and with that big breakthrough, I think everybody saw that. Yeah. And he basically 1v3'd almost the entire other team. So now he's in the good graces to possibly get chosen if they...
Exactly. If he hadn't done that, then they would have been like, oh, he's not the best.
We're taking Rin.
But then, now that he's done that, then Isagi can be like, this is what we need. This is what will help our team. Yeah. And, like, it's just... It's so good. And I love that as well, with the whole Isagi just knowing the other player better allows him to make a call and
but
get
not
in
just
position.
that he knew, it's that he knows that he knew, and that he knows that Rin doesn't know, and that they set that up before of like, I need something that he doesn't know. I need like one in. I need like, he literally said that. He was like, I need to know what factors he is trying to control, and like he was like, he didn't have an answer, and then we didn't even and then like, this is what I'm talking about. They didn't monologue it before it happened, and I'm okay, here's the thing. This is what I wanted to say. They'll probably have a monologue at the start of the next episode, okay? But they ended the episode on the badass moment and line where he's like, I knew it, and then it puts it together, and the credits roll, and you're like, oh my god, that was perfect. Imagine if they stuck a fucking monologue. They ripped us out in such a strong...
doing like an epic thing, and then Isagi's like, oh yes, but then I know Bachira. I've played with him before, and I believe that he can get there because I know that he has a monster inside him.
We are so immersed in Bachira's perspective. Imagine if they just ripped us out and put us in Isagi's fucking floating puzzle pieces again. I would lose my shit. And like I said, we're gonna have, I'm sure, like, okay, if we don't have a monologue next episode, I'll be very happy. But I'm sure we will. And, you know, whatever, I guess. But at least this episode and the moment when it happened didn't have that, and we were able to actually enjoy just the action and just the crescendo of that moment, you know? Like, that's such a big deal and such a big win, and such a directing, maybe it's a drafting win, maybe it's a manga thing, that like the chapter ended there and they were like, oh, that's a good thing, we gotta end it right there. But I hope there's no monologue explaining that, because I get it. We get it. Anybody who's watching understands what just happened, if you've been paying attention at all. If you don't, then maybe they can get it on the rewatch and it'll be fine. If they really love it, or they'll get it when they read the manga that's what was going on. You don't need to explain everything all the time, and I hope they don't. But I'm glad, regardless of what happens, if they do, I'm glad they didn't this episode. That was great.
Leave a like and subscribe. Check out our Patreon. See ya.
See ya.